Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat right here on Prime FM 105.5. This program is also being streamed live on the Nighttime Heat page. And of course, if you want to follow the show online, just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook or your YouTube channel. And of course, you're going to follow the show online. Tonight promises to be very, very interesting. And so please make sure that you are part of tonight's edition. I got my panelists. I'm sure Moses Sandy will shortly join. David Tower is already in studio. George Kennedy as well. And Edwin Famula will shortly be in. And of course, today we're going to cross-examine, we're going to grill the Senate chair, the Senate Committee Chair on Judiciary, well, he's Senator and Councillor Augustine Chair. You know, this noise been around, this debate about the seaport decentralization and modernization bill. You know, there are individuals who are pushing against the passage of the bill, but there are some who say, well, I think we should have such a bill in existence. We understand that the bill is already before the president for his signature. You know, as soon as the president signs the bill, it means that it is law. And of course, we're going to look into that bill. What makes it very, very significant? Why should Liberia have such a bill? What could be some of the benefits if at all it is passed into law? What happens when we are hearing a couple of issues? In fact, the first time the president, His Excellency Joseph Maboaka, vetoed the bill, and of course, he raised a couple of issues. We're going to bring those issues up to the senator and the council tonight. You know, his committee did all of the work and said that the bill should be passed into law. So, you know, he's the best person to be on the program tonight to explain basically more about this bill. And of course, after he has left, he's here for 1 hour, 50 minutes. After he has left, we're going to go into the issue. The panelists going to go into the issue. You know, we heard yesterday that the wife of Speaker Richard Cohen has sued the president's political advisor, who's now the wife, another wife of the speaker. So we'll be looking at that. As to why did she sue Mandela Cooper? We'll read the document and then we discuss it, the panelists and that. And also, in fact, she sued for 3.5 million United States dollars, a lot of money. And then she said for interfering with her marriage. Does she have one or she doesn't have? Well, the panelists will be doing analysis about that. And then, you know, I'm sure you saw the video, right? The video clip showing some DA personnel assaulting a female. What does it speak about? Violence in our security sector. You know, this is not the first time, this is not the second time. And in fact, that DA was dissolved after the bosses, again, the three bosses they had there, took punches against each other. And of course, the president dissolved, but they're still fighting around them. So we'll talk about that tonight. And also, if time permits, Liberia has been admitted into an EU 12 million program under the port of Monrovia. What does it mean for the country? We'll talk about that as well. You know, like we said, this program is the only one that has professional, well-trained journalists as the panelists. This program is not like other night shows where you find, politicians serving as panelists. No, this is just, all those on the program are all journalists, except for one who's very shortly will be a counselor, Anthony Law. He practiced for some time, and then later on he become a full-fledged counselor, full-fledged counselor. Edwin, welcome to the program. Let me open the microphone for you guys. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I want to say good evening to our listener, to the honorable senator. We want to say welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
And Tabe, welcome also.
Yeah, Saba, thank you very much. And I'd like to say season greetings to Senator Chie. It's always good to be here.
Okay, George Kennedy, welcome to the program.
Well, I want to wholeheartedly welcome our guest, Senator Abochie.
Not Abbott.
How to call it? What is
Augustine.
Augustine Chie? I'm always making this mistake, but I'm very sorry for that. I'm always making this mistake, So yeah, so you are welcome, Honorable Senator Augustine Chie, to the nighttime heat. We are very critical here. The seat should not get hot, and we are going to be pushing issues. We know you are a lawyer, you are a professional person, so we're waiting to hear a lot of things from you tonight. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a couple of online media institutions that cover this program live. And so today, like I said, it promises to be very, very interesting. The debate continues about the port decentralization and modernization bill. It continues to spark public debate. We'll talk about that for 1 hour, 15 minutes tonight with Senator Councilor Augustine Chie. So, Councilor, let me see what Moses. Moses, are you on? Moses, welcome. Okay, it seems Moses hasn't come yet. Let me welcome the councilor quickly. Josh, you can do that quickly. Just greet the councilor for us.
Senator Councilor Augustine Chie, we want to say you are welcome tonight to the nighttime heat. We want you to take this this program, this platform as your home. Anytime you wish to appear, this program the platform will be open for you, because we are a public figure and we'll always be willing to hear from you, both on national and international issues that affect our country. You are welcome again.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you so much for the invite. And please don't make the seat too high so that
The seat will not be high.
Okay,
We'll make it look warm. Okay, so Senator, let me want to begin this way quickly, and welcome again to the program. Thanks for accepting our invite. Just give us an idea about this this decentralization and modernization bill. I know we'll go into details. We'll go into reasons why the president vetoed the bill initially, and why the outcry is still out there. There are people who've described the bill as a devil bill. So we'll talk about all of that. But first, just give us an idea as to what is this bill.
Thank you, Sabo. Again, let me say thank you to all of you for your presence and for the invite. The Liberia Inland and Seaports Decentralization Bill is essentially an instrument for the localization of our ports. Decentralization, another word for decentralization is localization of our ports. At the moment, we have seaports, but it is envisaged that in the future, we might have inland ports. So that's why we use the nomenclature, the Liberia Inland and Seaports Decentralization Bill, which is supposed to be an act when it's enacted into law. And what that is about, essentially, like I said earlier, is to give the management of our ports to the counties where they are situated. At the moment, we have 4 seaports. We have the Port of Monrovia, we have the Port of Buchanan, we have the Port of Greenville, and we have the Port of Harper. As it is now, the ports are governed by a central authority, and that authority is the management of the National Port Authority, meaning that the management of the National Port Authority that sits in Monrovia is responsible for the management of all of our seaports, 4 seaports in the country. And they are governed by a board of directors. And that board is also responsible by oversight over the management of the ports. What this bill is supposed to do is to ensure that the management or the management operation of our ports The management operation of our ports are taken care of by managements and boards that are exclusively responsible for each of the ports, so that there will not be a centralized authority like we have now to manage the ports or to provide oversight for the ports. And that does a lot of good for our country. Unlike the other side, probably for whatever vested interest that people might have. But if it is for love of country, it is for love of efficiency, to ensure that we have our ports managed efficiently and effectively, then of course that's the way to go. Because Sabo and other journalists present in this room, if you see the condition of our ports, I'm from Sino. Go and see the port of Greenville, generate some millions a year. The port of Harper, same thing. The port of Buchanan, same thing. Where does that money go? How is that money managed? How much do the ports benefit from whatever they generate? Because whatever money they generate comes to Monrovia. The decision as to how to utilize that money is made here in Monrovia. It's a management of the National Port Authority, the board, the directors of the National Port Authority. They make that decision. They make that decision. They decide what goes back to each of the ports in the county, whatever they want to do. To the extent that even if a port wanted to hire a sweeper, a janitor, that decision had to be made in Monrovia. That decision has to be made in Monrovia. That janitor will be employed in Monrovia, not in Sino, not in Greenville, for that matter, not in Buchanan, not in Harper. So the locals are there. They have no means of employment. They have no means of livelihood. Everything that has to do with the ports is directed to Monrovia. The revenue that is generated comes to Monrovia. Employment has to be done in Monrovia and everything else. So the local economies do not benefit from the operation of the ports. Sino, for example, began from Sino. There is nothing that the port of Greenville does for development in Sino. Don't talk about social corporate responsibility. No social projects. There's nothing, absolutely. And most of the people who they hire them from Monrovia. Even if they are local people, they have to be hired in Monrovia without any participation of the locals.
Okay.
So the local economy suffers as a result.
Okay.
And because of that, there's a lack of investment in the port because a decentralized decision maker, so people have vested interest. So even when investors want to come, they don't like that. They don't want investors to come to the ports. They want to decide what should be, and whatever they want, that what should be done. And since, let me just give you the information.
Mm-hmm.
Since this whole thing about the decentralization of the ports came about, since the discussion started, since we started debating this bill, and my committee was very much involved with that, very much involved. And we made sure that it was facilitated and passed, and now it's with the president. There are investors, foreign investors, that have come to us now to say we see the need to revamp the ports. We see the potential.
They've come to who?
To us. No, the legislators of the various counties. Like for Sino, the two investors have come to us now for the Port of Greenville for negotiation. They have interest in the Port of Greenville. They want to start a negotiation here. At the end of the day, it will be the executive that will do the rest. But they want to let us know that we have interest in the Port of Sino, in the Port of Greenville. We want to invest in the port. It has a lot of potential, economic potential. We want to invest in it so that it becomes viable. But as it is now, the guys who sit at the helms of power don't want that.
Okay.
They'd rather keep them the way they are so that they operate them the way they like. And who knows?
Okay.
Whatever the interest is.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator. I think you've given us an idea as to what this whole bill is all about. Basically, to decentralize, to ensure that the locals also benefit from their resources. But this is not the first time that you all crafted a bill and sent it to the president, and unfortunately the president rejected that the bill was not properly done. And let me try to read, because the point is, and the argument is, many of the issues that the president raised in his veto were not still addressed by your committee and others. Let me try to read this before my colleagues can come in. The Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence, President Pro Tem of the Liberia Senate, the Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia, structural issues. The proposed Liberia Seed and Inland Ports Decentralization and Modernization Act has inadequate provisions for the transition of the National Port Authority to the new sea and inland ports. Section 57.3 provides for a 6-month transition period. The NPA will be dissolved immediately, and the current port managers will assume responsibility for the various ports. A transitional working group will oversee the dissolution of the NPA. The group will consist of the 4 port managers. They will determine what becomes of the assets, outstanding liabilities, and employees' compensation. Leaving the transition of the NPA to such a group may lead to chaos. How do you explain that? How do you respond to that? The committee addressed this.
Yes, absolutely. That was one of the problems the president had with the bill. Our idea was that look, if we had to do this, we must expedite it. Say if we say 1 year, we say 2 years, it'll be too much of a time. So, in our opinion, 6 months were adequate. Were adequate to do the transition. But in the opinion of the president, 6 months would not be sufficient enough, would not be adequate enough to do the transition. We agree. We don't have a problem with that. It's not a major problem. So yes, we came back and worked on that, and because let me just correct.
What did you insert?
Let me just correct this. Okay. President did not veto the bill.
Okay.
If you say veto, you are talking about the entire bill. I mean, veto it, meaning that the president doesn't want it. He rejected it. Means he rejected it in its entirety. Okay. That's a veto there. That's not what happened in this case. Mm-hmm. There's something in legislative language that is called line veto. Line veto. I mean, look, there are several provisions of the bill. But I have a problem with provision A or provision B or C or D or F or this, that, or certain lines in that provision. So can you look at them again? That's what the president did in this case. He did a line veto. So look, like the 6 months you talk about, 6 months is insufficient. Can it be more than that? Mm-hmm. That's line veto. So the bill was not vetoed, so to speak, by the president, but line veto, meaning that he made suggestions.
So what did you say? How did you address it, Senator?
So we addressed all of those things. So we increased the time. What we did this time was increase the time, because the president had problem. We couldn't be in a confrontation with the president, because look, he's the chief executive. At the end of the day, he will be the last person to sign the instrument, and we thought that it was reasonable too that we should provide a kind of understanding. So we agreed and extended the time. Mm-hmm. That's what we did. As we did with other provisions for a year now, as we do with other provisions of the bill. There are other provisions.
But the president still indicated that. I mean, he indicated is like you said, we shouldn't say veto, we should say rejection. He said leaving that transition with the group, it will be chaotic. So how did you address that?
We also took that into consideration. So we instead of just put managers, we have an independent group of people.
Independent group of people? Where are they coming from?
From all what will be elected. We already provided a guideline as to how a benchmark.
To be elected from
no, not elected. We selected.
Selected. Why did they select
the president
from the legislature?
We provide a guideline. No. We have,
what did
the executive. We cannot do the executive work. That's the executive work.
But that's exactly what you did in the first bill.
I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, please.
No. So what I'm saying.
I want to know what did you.
What I'm saying now is that independent people. There are somebody like you will be an independent president. The president could say some of you will be on the transitional team for the decentralization of the ports. Okay. So we leave that. We are leaving that with the president to do. We're not telling him who to be, but we provided benchmarks as to how that could be done, and that's precisely what we've done.
Okay. Let me read this before I come to you. Let me handle
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Let
think
me
Moses
respond.
wants to come in. Please check whether Moses is on now. Let me read this. Part of the president. He said we should say veto. We should say
It's
rejection.
lying veto.
Lying
It's
veto.
lying
Yeah,
veto. He's
correct,
right.
it's correct,
He's
it's
right.
correct,
As a former legislative reporter, it's true. He said
Is
lying
Moses
veto.
on now?
Lying veto,
Okay,
right.
let me welcome Moses, one of our panelists who's in
Lying veto.
diaspora, before we can continue with this. Moses, welcome to the program. Moses, can you unmute and welcome?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Let me say I apologize for being a little bit late.
Okay.
Traffic congestion, but it's good to be here with you. And Senator, let me say hi to you. It is indeed an opportunity to get to connect with you via social media. You know, I reside in Delaware, the United States of America. I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting discussion tonight. Also, on behalf of my colleagues, I want to welcome you. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, Moses, thank you for joining us. And Mr. Senator and Councilor, let me continue. The NPA has outstanding contractual obligations as an ongoing business concern. It does contracts are abruptly cancelled. Then the issue becomes what becomes of the contractual obligations and the contractor. Under the Constitution of Liberia, Article 25, obligations of contract must be respected without transition positions as to the assets, liabilities, and contractual obligations of the NPA. Signing this act into law will create chaos in its implementation. There has to be a transition period wherein the management of the NPA and an appointed transition team shall dissolve the NPA in proper and legal manner. Such a transition period should not be less than a year. Now, the president raised the issue about the contractors and businesses the NPA has. According to the law, if that law is passed, immediately the managers at the NPA would cease to exist. Now, what happens to what becomes of the contractors and businesses that the NPA has already that has some agreement with people?
So those will be taken care of by a transitional team. And like you just read what the president wrote, right? It says that a time frame of 1 year will probably be suitable to take care of all of the legal issues, contractual issues, everything else surrounding the transition of the books. So yes, that's what I told you earlier that yes. So we when you are doing these pieces of legislation, you take a lot of things for granted sometimes. All right, that's why our framework is that we alone cannot do the law. If we do the law, we pass the law. There are two chambers of the legislature. The House, it will go to the House, it come from the Senate, it will originate from the Senate, it will go to the House, they will debate it, they will however they see it, they will do it the way they want. They probably come back to us, and it goes to the president. The president will have his own opinion about the instrument.
Yes, okay.
All right, and this is one of the things we are talking about.
We're talking about
the president said,
opinion.
okay, if you say 6 months would not be adequate enough to address the issue of contracts and what have you. So why can't it be longer than that? So yes, we agree. And we agree that yes, there should be.
How sure are you are the crafters, Mr. Senator?
Yeah.
How sure are you all who are the crafters of this bill, that the transitional team will be able to address the issue of contractors and the issue of contracts and businesses that the NPA has connections?
We have taken all of the concerns into consideration. We have debated these things. People have spoken about this. You know, the way we work is such that even if a committee does a piece of work, like this bill for instance, it comes to the judicial committee, we worked on it, do a report on it, send it to the pro tem, it gets on the floor, is debated. Other senators, other lawmakers provide.
You sure you heard public hearings?
We did.
None that we know about.
Oh, but maybe you don't know. Maybe you're not following.
Okay,
If you ask the people,
let me leave you there.
If you ask the people, if you ask the people at MP, they'll tell you
Okay.
that. We have public hearings, of course.
Let me
Absolutely.
leave you
Oh, yeah,
there.
we are very transparent. We are
Okay.
very, very transparent in our work.
Okay,
Very
good.
So you confirming that you have public hearing with center entities
Oh,
like
we,
Maritime
did.
and
We have public hearings. We have hearings. Absolutely.
and you
We have
also
hearings.
you can also confirm that they took into consideration their views on this new bill.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. Public hearing like consultation. Those are consultation. Besides public hearing, the in-house like a committee meeting with inviting people to committee rooms and talking to them, discussing with them. Those are all consultations. A part of public hearing. And yes, of course, we have public hearing.
Consultations are
We
public
took-
hearings?
I'm saying that's part of the consultative process.
No more, Senator.
That's
Senator,
precisely
let me
what I'm
come
saying.
back. Let me come back. Senator.
I mean, public hearing is also part of
Senator,
consultation.
let me come back. No matter when the Senate is about to hold public hearings on major instruments like this, you always announce asking members of the public to come in as well. So are you saying that you did public hearings? You
What-
conducted public hearings?
What you might be missing, Sabo,
mhm.
is that you might be thinking that this thing started with the veto of the president. This is a long time ago.
Okay.
Long time ago.
How
So
long?
probably you might not have heard that, or probably you might have forgotten. But yes, we have public hearings. We have
Okay.
we have consultations.
All right.
We
So-
have
Let me give
public hearings. We have consultations.
it a Mambule
Oh,
dialect.
yeah.
Every can come in.
That's how we work. I mean, that's
Senator,
how we work.
thank you.
We are very transparent in our work.
Senator, thank you. I listened to you very keenly, and we also put the idea of trying to decentralize our country, whether it's the port, whether it's the national government.
Thank you.
But as a lawyer and as a senator, don't you think that it would have been better for you guys to look at the existing laws that created the National Port Authority and see what level of autonomy that you can give these ports? Because you spoke about Signed Port, that you have investor. What happens to the port in Maryland if they don't have investor? What happened to the port in BB? Who's going to fund it? Is it the national government? Isn't it we were trying to put another burden on our already existing budget to be able to develop those infrastructure?
Are you assuming that we don't look at the National Port Authority Act? Is that the assumption you're making?
Well,
How can we do
Someone
port
is saying-
decentralization and don't look at the act creating the National
No.
Port Authority?
No, someone
No,
is
of
saying
course, that's
that
some- that's something
because
that
you
would
are
happen.
going there to rectify certain portion.
No.
You want to give these people.
Fine, okay,
They're
fine.
coming back
If
to
that's what
do
you
a new
say,
bill,
then
actually-
that's a different argument.
Yeah,
To
if
say
you try
that
to do a
we didn't
new
look
bill,
at it, then of course, then I
because the
would
bill that you're trying to create
I
is
would-
trying to dissolve the existing structure to come in with a new structure.
absolutely.
But you already have an
Absolutely.
instrument that you could have used to say, okay, let's try to find a way to give these ports some level of autonomy because there are challenges that they have been faced. Rather than us coming to say, let's dissolve everything and start all over again.
In our opinion, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
In our opinion, the best way to do this, the most effective, efficient way to do it, to manage our ports, to make them economically viable, is to decentralize the management and operation of the ports.
We agree.
And that's why we took that decision. Not to go into the Port Authority Act and make amendments and why. It wouldn't have, we have done that with many institutions of the government. And nothing has changed. Too many of them. If I tell you how many amendments we have made to institutional acts, you will not believe that. But nothing has changed. So our friend this time is that only way to ensure this thing will work this time around is to decentralize the ports. And we see that. Like you're asking about Port of Harcourt. Yes. You know what people are saying? They say the Port of Harcourt holds a great potential for maritime traffic in this country. You know what happened in Cote d'Ivoire? Let's go. The traffic is too heavy there. So the ships that are calling at the port of Abidjan sometimes will stay at sea for a long time. The waiting period, the Mauritius and what have you.
Okay.
People who in our sector understand the language. Many months. And that adds to the cost of freight and what have you. So there are people who are suggesting that, look, Apple put the just next to invest in it and transfer some of the traffic from Abidjan to Hapo. How can they do that within the existing framework? It cannot be.
Okay. Moses, you can come in
So
quickly.
what's all of that?
Moses,
Even the Campo,
Moses,
there's a lot of investors that understand by come into the
Moses, before you come in, Moses,
consider all of this.
okay, it's not 1 minute. Moses, before you come in, let me just announce that if you want to watch the show online, just type the Nighttime Heat on your Facebook or YouTube channel, and then you're going to watch the show online. Moses, you can come in quickly because I have the Justice Minister's opinion on the port law, and I want to bring this issue to the Senator. So, Moses, you can come in quickly.
Yeah, Senator, once again, it's a pleasure meeting you. Do you hear me?
Yes, Moses.
Okay. So basically, this is what I would like for the senator to speak to, because it's widely speculated in the media. And Senator, I want you to be honest with the people of Nigeria this evening. First, let me say the intent to decentralize. It sounds laudable. However, it has been speculated in the media that the fundamental reason behind this decentralization is more personal than national. And particular fingers have been pointed at the Senate Pro Tem Yombi Kanga and Senator Charles Dillon. Can you speak to that?
You got a question?
No, I don't.
Moses, repeat yourself, please.
So maybe you can use a microphone.
Okay. So, do you hear me now, Senator?
Okay, good.
Yes, Senator. Yeah, if somebody can mute, somebody has to mute. There's echo in the background. Senator, do you hear me now? Okay, so this is my question. First, let me say it sounds laudable that the leadership of the Senate have chosen to decentralize port services in Liberia. However, there's this speculation in the media that the fundamental reason for the decentralization is more personal than national. And fingers have been pointed at the Senate Pro Tem Yombi Kanga and Senator Dallas Dillon. People say they are the brains behind the decentralization because they want to take charge of the Port of Buchanan. Make sure that former Senator Cartier, who comes from the Liberal Party, remains the man at the helm of power in Gombasa County. Speak to that. Can you provide a little bit of clarification regarding that?
Well, I don't want to go into the personality debate, and I think we should take personality out of this matter altogether. We don't make laws for individuals or to certify any segment of society or any individuals in society. We make laws for the country. I've just said that. I'm from Sando, I'm not from Bassa. This is Senator Chair from Sando speaking. I'm saying we have a serious management operational gap at the port of Greenville that needs to be addressed. And the way to address it is the way we are doing now, to decentralize our ports so that it becomes efficient, it becomes effective, it becomes economically viable to provide, to support the local economies of the counties. That's what we are saying. That everything should not come to Monrovia. No, we generate money in Sando, we generate money in Bassa. Where does that money go? You have a group of people sitting there in Monrovia, overcrowded offices, 4,000, 5,000, most majority of whom are directors making a whole lot of money, and nothing goes to the ports. Nothing, no development, no investment in infrastructure. Go see the infrastructure of the ports. Go see them. Please, take a tour. Go see the infrastructure of the ports. And you ask, what's going on? Then you ask yourself. Then you come to a realization that this is not about Yombi Kanga, it's not about whoever else you're talking about. It's about making sure that our ports are managed well, our ports are economically viable, and our ports contribute meaningfully to economic growth and development of our counties. That's what the post should be about. And they are not doing that at the moment. Everything is centered around Moringa. There are a few individuals who make the big salaries and nothing goes to the post. There's no investment in infrastructure, no investment in equipment. Nothing.
So, Senator,
Nobody want to do business with the post. And then I went into even local investors because they prefer the way it is, they like it the way it is, because they benefit from it. So let's take the personality out of it, my people. Let's take the
Senator quickly, let me ask you this question. Are you insinuating that all the years port services in Liberia have been terrible because we have not been able to decentralize? Is that what you're insinuating tonight?
They are not being as efficient as you say. Yes, I must say that. Why they were better off prior to the war, but it was not efficient and effective as other posts are. These posts are decentralized, and we believe that decentralization will make them more efficient and effective. Yes, that's the argument I'm making.
And so, Senator.
Okay. Yeah, Moses, thank you. Yeah, David.
So, Senator, the debate is widening. A lot of people giving their opinions and views, but there's questions many are asking that haven't been answered. Number one, is it centralization? The impression I'm getting is that centralization has been the cause of the underdevelopment of these ports. There are others who are also suggesting that because of the lack of vision of the managers of those ports, and also an issue of accountability, even whether if it is decentralized, the issue of accountability, the issue of vision, managers having vision, is among concerns people are raising.
So my counter argument is that if the posts are decentralized, the issue of accountability, the issue of vision will be taken care of, because different managers will come with different visions. Accountability, benchmarks, and what have you. So we, yes, I still make the argument that decentralization will take care of all the concerns you are speaking to.
Okay.
But I found a question.
Follow up.
So, do these ports have the capacity? Do these ports have the capacity to accommodate the gigantic vessels, some of the gigantic vessels that have our berthing at the free port of Monrovia? Do our ports, like the one in Hapo, Sino, and Grand Bassa, do they have the capacity in terms of the berthing of
Every building.
or the infrastructure?
So,
or we'll wait until the decentralization takes effect?
So what's the name again? Moses? Is that Moses?
That Moses.
Moses, yeah, Moses.
Yeah, Moses, yeah. Otagba is the one who asked the question.
Sorry, Mr. Taba. So, Mr. Taba, let me put the question back to you. Why is it that large vessels cannot call on the port of Buchanan, on the port of Greenville, on the port of Harper? Why only the port of Monrovia?
Because the infrastructure is not there.
Why are you responsible for that? Why? Why it shouldn't be? Why it can be? Why it has not been? It's because no investment has been made in the ports. Some of the port of Sino, it needs dredging. That's not been done for years. Nobody's willing to do that. That's not been dredged for years. So no big vessels can call on the port. Apropos has capacity. But no investment. Nobody's investing in the ports. They protect the money to Monrovia and use the money the way they please.
Okay, so
My final question.
You went to the actual question.
Okay, sorry for the violation. So
You be punished for that.
Honorable Senator, one of the things that you really underscored is the issue of the question of where does the money go? Does the legislature care to pursue the matter so to determine, to ask the relevant questions as to where monies are being collected from these various posts? Where do these monies go? They go.
So this is what I know. I'm also the vice chair on the Committee on Public Corporations. This is what I know. What I do know is that because we are talking about the ports. This
Yeah,
is only
the ports,
SOE
yeah.
we are talking about
Yeah.
now. So I will restrict my discussion to the NPA or the National Port Authority. What I do know, or what we do know, is that most of the money that is generated by the ports go into the payment of salaries of people who, most of them absolutely have nothing to do with the operation of the port. But cronies are hired, that are there, that are paid big fat salaries and doing nothing. That's what happens. That's what the money
Are
is
you
for.
a legend or are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm telling you. I'm a member of the. I'm chairman of the. I'm vice chair of the.
So what brings those cronies you make a reference to? Where do they come from? Cronies.
That's the nature of our politics.
What bring them?
That's the nature of our politics.
Okay.
But
So, Mr. Josh,
The boys are politicized. They are politicized.
George, I beg you, George.
because they are public corporations.
Yeah,
SOEs, they are SOEs are public corporations.
Yeah,
right?
SOEs.
Let's agree on this.
No, listen.
They were created by an act of the legislature, right?
Yes.
So they are public corporations.
with mandates. Listen now.
And we're not talking about mandates.
No, man. You can leave that.
Who owns
Those are owned by the Republic of Liberia.
And so because it is state, so they are public corporations,
They are
right?
public corporations.
Fine, that's what I'm
also
saying. Okay.
State-owned enterprises.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But they were created with mandates.
Sure. Now who can now go to the mandate?
The
Yeah.
mandates, they must carry out their mandates.
What
And
the
because,
mandates?
and because of the political,
What are the mandates?
National Port Authority.
Yeah.
They're supposed to handle the maritime traffic and everything.
And to do what?
And what they're supposed to do?
And to do what? That's all.
Oh.
When you handle aid, you're not supposed to create jobs opportunity for citizens.
So you are kidding me.
Is that not part of the mandate?
No. They're supposed to create jobs.
Okay, fine.
Job for people who have what to do. But as it is now, you have a group of people there, many of whom have nothing to do, absolutely nothing.
Your critics,
they have nothing to do.
Your critics.
And who are there, chronics who are hired and who receive all of the big salaries. And these are the people who are making sure that they say to protect the vested interest.
Okay.
This is why we are taking away from them. That's why they're not happy.
Can I come in for what?
Our guest here is the chair of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Senator and Councilor Augustine Chie. Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes, so Senator, listening to you, then I think that we have a big problem in our country.
Seriously.
Just because you have a job, you are to make law, you have to do oversight and representation. Now, you're saying to us that public corporations, from the way you're saying that they have actually been managed. I don't know whether there is any law in the Republic of Liberia that says that these public corporations should not contribute to our national budget. Because if you say resources are being acquired just to pay fat salaries, and what you're saying is not inherent, that's true. Whenever there's a new government, people comes in with different cronies and put them in places and give them big job. But again, it's a lack of oversight from our legislature. So that should be, a very important key. And that's why I said here that, was it actually tangible for us to create a new bill, or we go into this, this whole Port Act and say, look, let's find out, like you said, where are the monies going for these ports? Let's put a barricade to say, look, monies generated from Sino should remain in Sino to develop that port for the next 10 years. Money generated from Buchanan should remain here and do it as those are things I want to do. But it's sad that we're hearing from our senators who's supposed to make sure that these things happen. And he's saying that, it's happening in the executive, we have nothing to do.
No, I didn't say that.
In addition, Senator, before you respond to that.
Don't.
Senator, before you respond to that, in addition.
We have oversight. How can I say we have nothing to do?
Say the-
No, I did not say that.
But these same Senator President are not going to be the national budget.
I'm saying this is happening. People hire their colleagues.
But
So I'm not saying that we can do. I mean, as the executive.
The question back to them, what is
So then you
the
argument that they are supposed to contribute to the budget.
national
Are
budget?
they contributing to the budget?
Are supposed to
Are they supposed to
asking you.
do? So that's this are the things we're talking about.
So, Senator,
So if they come to us and say, look, because we had to employ all of our political opponents, so we're not able to contribute to the budget. And this is the problem.
I think we need to-
this is the key factor on this as well. I like to point this to the Senator.
All right, one minute. Yes,
So
I like to
let me
point
just
this.
one minute.
I like to point this to the
Moses,
Senator.
1 minute, George. Yeah.
I saw a lot of legal flaws in the first bill that was vetoed by the president. And most of their critics of the legislature believe that they were so impulsive or impulsive with the bill to the extent that they violated the Maritime Act, they violated the NPA Act, they even went that far violating the Constitution of Liberia. And to see a senator who happened to be a lawyer chairing a committee to see that and then let pass only because he admitted they already got investors. So the investors waiting for them to pass this bill hurriedly so they can get going what can go for them in their country. And that is where the problem is, Senator.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
I've never at any point in time told you that this thing came about because I have investors. No investors around when we started this bill. Absolutely not. The interest was generated after the bill was passed by both houses and submitted to the president. That's when people started coming. People heard about it and started coming. Oh yes, I have interest in the port of Buchanan. Oh yes, I have interest. We have interest in the port of Harper. Yes, we have interest in the port of Greenville.
Foreigners?
Yeah, foreign people. Yes, of course. People in the maritime industry. Where to do companies. What to do companies have come.
Okay.
To let us know their interests.
Okay, Moses, you can
That's what
come
it is.
in. Moses, you come in here.
Senator, let me piggyback on the question that Mr. Kennedy asked you. And honestly, Senator, as I listen to you, I am troubled. You have made a number of claims, and you admitted indirectly, inadvertently, you admitted that the decision, to decentralize, that decision is driven by personal ego. You have told like
Did I say that?
yeah, Senator, listen, let me complete my
Did I say that? No, I did not say that. I said for national interest. So what the best national interest are the ones who are against it. No, I didn't say I didn't say in the direct
Senator, my colleagues are listening to you.
I responded to the other Mr. Kennedy that there was nothing about investment in the ports when this instrument
Senator,
absolutely nothing. To frame your question.
Okay, so Moses, yeah, answer
so let me say this.
All the ramification, we know everything. We started everything, know about all of these.
But Senator, the bill for the decentralization of post services in the country is still in the making. But you inadvertently, through the leadership of the Senate, under the boss, when you say that you guys have already started holding discussion with individuals who have interest in the port.
So what is wrong with that? Have we awarded contracts?
No,
people come to legislators of Gary County and say we have interest in our port. And when Mr. John asked the same question, listen, please, let me correct you before you continue. Mr. John asked the question about investment. The negotiation of the investment is within the domain of the executive. But if people have expressed, I've come to us to express interest. Isn't that what I said? Without negotiation, we can negotiate with investors. That's what you do me of the executive. It's not for us to do. Okay, but they can come to us as legislators from the county to say we have interest in our it's not negotiation.
Okay,
so please get it right. That's different things altogether.
I thought that the bill would have been passed before any discussion.
There was a discussion. If somebody came to us and said we have interest in this book, if they can be at any time, what harm does that do?
Okay,
if you were saying no, you were negotiating or you are negotiating with people to take over the posts that you talked about. Negotiation. So if you come if you call me from America that you are, if you come and say no, I have interest in the port of Sino, what harm does that do? It does nothing. It does no harm. I made it clear here. I know the law. I made it clear here that negotiation for investments and all kind of investment in our country is the exclusive right of the Constitution assigned that to the executive, not us. So we don't do that.
Let me what I'm saying to you, I think the leadership of the Senate is being.
Have you understanding me?
Yeah, I'm following you.
Okay, there's a differentiation between negotiation and people expressing interest. Okay, we try to understand that. That's why we understand. Okay, when you understand that, that's okay with me.
I agree, Senator. So let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. I beg you, Josh. Let me ask this question, please. Let me ask you. The Senate has oversight authority, and I heard you continuously accuse the management of the Port Authority of generating money, but using the money to pay cronies. You are senator. You chair of the Senate Standing Committee on Judiciary. What have you done to correct this problem? Tell us.
So the way we decided to address the problem is to decentralize the ports. That's our way of addressing the problem. Because we tried other ways, it didn't work. This is our way of addressing the problem.
Are you telling us that if the president vetoes this bill, it means that what you spoke about, the reported financial mismanagement at the port of at the NPA, without continue?
We'll return to status quo. Yes, we'll return to status quo. And that's what we don't want. And I know the president is wise enough. The president has not been against the bill. Let's just get it clear. The president has not been against the bill. There was the notion that the president vetoed the bill, as my brother said from the beginning. The president never vetoed any bill. The president said the president has certain concerns that he needed for us to address, and we have addressed them. And I believe that the president, in his wisdom, will see the need to append a signature to the bill and
So can I ask?
It takes effect. And I believe that the president will do that. I believe that the president will do that. I have no question about that.
Okay, we understand that the show is also being relayed on Sano. It's being relayed by Sano Radio 88.3 FM. The people in Sano County are listening to their senator. Now, Senator, let me ask before I go to the aspect of the Justice Minister's opinion, because there are some key issues in our opinion. Hoping we may let them go beyond 9:15. We want to appeal to you today, Mr. Senator. Let me ask you. I'm sure you agree with me. If you don't, just say yeah, I don't agree. Today, all the assets of the ports are owned by the NPA. Is it so?
National Port Authority.
Fine. The NPA leases them to get revenue, right?
Somebody send that to you.
No, I'm asking. I got my document for me.
We did research, Senator.
I did research, man.
I don't have a problem with that.
We did research. He has it.
But you all who crafted the bill, we all are saying that is bad. What makes it bad?
Sorry, I didn't understand where you came from with it being bad or not being bad.
I was asking a question and he said somebody sent it to me.
No, it doesn't matter. But somebody can send, somebody can send it. Somebody can send a question to you. It doesn't. I mean, I don't have a problem.
All right. The question is, the assets at the port belong to the port, right?
Right.
The port leases them to get revenue.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, but we understand that the crafter, like you and others, are saying that it is bad. Now, so you put the assets to be owned by the regulator and not the port. What's the difference?
We said leasing is bad.
Yeah.
No,
you want the assets to be owned. You want the assets to be owned by the regulator.
By Vera Ports.
So,
by Vera Ports.
Why?
So they have the asset, they should own the asset. To manage them well, to make them efficient, to make them economically viable. That's why.
But what's the difference? Now, that's the question I'm asking. What's the difference? Because
we are saying that centralization has led to the non-investment, the mismanagement, the inefficiency of the ports. So we want to change that.
Let me come to this. Let me come to this. I want to address this, please. Kindly. Political and institutional implications. That's the Justice Minister's opinion on port law. The exclusion of the executive from such significant legislative action also carries profound political implications that extend beyond the immediate maritime restructuring. It establishes a precedent for unilateral legislative action that could fundamentally alter the dynamics of inter-branch relations in Liberia's democratic system. When the legislature demonstrates, that it will proceed with major governmental restructuring without executive consultation, it signals a shift toward a more adversarial relationship between the branches. This precedent could encourage future legislatures to bypass executive consultation on other significant matters, gradually eroding the collaborative approach that has characterized Liberian governance. How do you respond?
Can you summarize that?
He's saying that the political implications.
I understand.
You excluded the executive,
and you said
in crafting this law, and he said it's fundamentally bad.
But who told the Minister of Justice that when we are crafting laws as legislators or as a legislature, we have to go to executive and say, when we craft a law, do you agree with it or you don't agree with it?
Lord, I accept.
Give me a chance to talk. Let me talk.
Go ahead.
The Constitution divides the authority of the country into three departments. The executive has its function, the legislature has its function, the judiciary has its function. We cannot exercise our function with the acquiescence. The president, the executive must agree before we can pass laws. Is that what the minister has suggested?
No.
Don't say that about the Minister of Justice. He's a friend. We went to school together. He's a brilliant lawyer. He's a smart guy. I don't think that what the Minister of Justice wrote.
You don't think so?
The reason why when we pass laws, we send them to the executive. If the executive have his opinion of the laws, but we don't go to consult the executive before we pass our law. Before we pass law, no, the Constitution does not require that. It's not required at all. So I don't think that's what the minister is saying.
If you are crafting a law that affects, let's assume, maybe LPRC, let's forget about NPA.
We don't have to.
I'm coming.
But it's simply.
Wouldn't you include the LPRC, the Ministry of Finance, the LRA?
So that's why we hold a public hearing. That will hold the consultation we are talking about in this case. Is that what you mean?
Is consultation public hearings?
If we invite them to committee room and talk to them or go to them, yeah,
outside of the public.
No. There's nothing that is. The public hearings are not mandatory. We make it as a matter of
But that's
our
the
procedure.
practice now.
No, listen now. I'm just trying to explain. I'm not saying we don't do public
No,
hearing.
I'm saying that
I'm just explaining to you, making it to appear as if we don't do public hearing, then we have not done anything. No, don't. It's misleading. We don't have to do public hearing. If in our opinion, this whatever instrument we want to pass requires that we engage the public, we do that. We have had public hearings on many instruments, many other matters besides legislation.
Okay, let me
We've
read
done
this
that.
one. Let me read this one for the Attorney General again. You say, well, that's not the Attorney General, so I don't know. But the point is, Mr. Senator. Let me read this one. It's from the Attorney General again, because you say, well, it's not his opinion. Furthermore, he says the Act's hybrid structure, resembling elements of different international governance models, without adopting any single model, coherently creates a framework that lacks precedent among successful maritime administrations worldwide. This structural novelty, while not inherently problematic, requires careful justification and comprehensive planning that appears to be absent from the current legislation.
I can agree with you that the Minister of Justice wrote that one.
Okay.
You see,
Then why did
let me take the phrase. Why not inherently problematic? Hybrid, we use a hybrid. We didn't take one situation face all. We went around the sub-region. We have people going to Ghana, going to other places in Africa that have the same similar framework to see how it's done, and we incorporate these things. So it's a hybrid structure. Yes, I agree. So the minister says not problematic, but because it's new, we always have problem with anything that is new. People resist change.
No,
That's why. No, listen. Give me a chance, please. Give me a chance. That's why our country is the way it is, and we all complain every day. Even our governance, the way we govern our country, is so overly centralized. Someone judge between you and me. Have a budget today that says Sano County has 100 million, 150 million to take care of everything in Sino, without going through the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Information, Ministry of Education, Ministry of This. You hire your own teacher, you hire your own doctor, you hire your own city cleaner, you hire everybody on your own. That's your budget. That's how it works in other countries. Decentralization, localization, it works. It curtails the whole issue of corruption that you're talking about. We have this situation of corruption as it is because our governance is so overly centralized. And people use that to their benefit. That's why people are fighting the post-decentralization bill. They know that if they decentralize, they will not get what they're getting. They think they are doing that, they will not do them. Because they will be smaller, they will be effectively overseen. The oversight will be stronger, will be better. People don't like that.
Okay.
They benefit from the system as it is because overly centralized. So you can put the money here, you can do that, and say, yeah, we have done that. Without anybody even trying to find the truth. You say, why I didn't do that, why I do that? That's one of the things that people, how you don't keep even find.
Okay.
But if we are decentralized, all of these things, transparency will come, accountability will come. That's it.
Yeah,
Senator, let me follow up with you.
Moses, one minute.
When you mentioned Ghana, Nigeria as places that you went to make sure that
I said we want to other countries.
other countries, if you mentioned Ghana,
Yeah, I mentioned countries.
yeah, you mentioned other countries.
Yeah, I mentioned Ghana.
So, can you tell us the type of system or government are in Ghana and that they're running while in Nigeria compared to here?
If you say government,
Yes, systems
if you
of
say
government.
you talk about system of government, because Nigeria has a federal system of government.
Okay, so
Ghana has the same executive government.
no, it is regional.
As the same-
It is actually regional.
No,
They
no,
reform it to regional.
No, why about it? But we're talking.
Yes.
So they have executive presidency as we have.
It's true.
Don't you have executive
But
presidency as we
they
have?
regionalize their system, their governance system.
So, since you are coming to what
Very
I
good.
now,
Wait.
so they have done so, then why can't we also
You
do
are not
something?
no, we are not regionalizing our government system. In terms of to say where you set your like the way north, east, south, and west region as they did in Ghana, right? You set them where they raise money and some of the money remain there almost in the form of federal system, that's not what you're doing.
And so
This
now,
is not the
and
case.
So listen now.
We agree with me on that.
Listen, I don't know how far you have read, but there's a Local Government Act.
I know.
You know about that, right?
Yeah.
Don't that talk about decentralization? We are supposed to decentralize our governance. And it's part of the decentralization we're talking about. You getting me?
So
Part of that decentralization, we are supposed to decentralize our governance. It should have started years ago, but we are working in the ministry. I'm happy the Ministry of Internal Affairs is on that. We are working on that. So we are working on decentralizing our governance to make it more efficient.
you're working on. So what?
So it's the decentralization of the post is part of that.
So let me come to the point. Let me face.
No, don't come to your Ghana example now.
Yes, it's it. It's regional. It's not similar.
So it's okay now.
No, it's not okay.
How can that be okay with
It's
you?
a contradiction
We're talking
because
about government decentralization.
wait,
Listen to me now.
let's break it
You
down.
said Ghana.
Can you teach
No, I'm not giving you
the regionalized?
You talk.
You talk about decentralization. You're talking about
So
regionalization.
we are decentralized. Well, we talk regionalization, not decentralization. It's regionalized, not decentralization.
No, it's different from the
it's a big word. Decentralization. If you even in Liberia, we could say we do our thing by region. So Eastern region, Western region, region.
It's different from the said decentralized. You still have a unitary form of government that is all centralized.
But
It's centralized.
we still have a unitary form of government that will be
It's
decentralized.
That
The head will be the president.
That will be.
Yeah, that's also we are.
Okay,
so we are working on everything to fall in line with that.
Okay,
Decentralization of governance.
No, one so far.
No, but we're focusing on one thing. We break it down.
Just to go back,
Senator,
Moses, 1 minute. Edwin is wrong.
yes, Senator. Yeah, Edwin, go ahead, Edwin.
after this whole decentralization bill, one of the mistakes I would say is basically look at the population density of those areas. Now, the port of Sino, I've been to Sino, I've been to Harpo. Now, those ports, mostly they just cater into concessionaires like in Sino, logging, JVL, and so forth. Now, if you go and put an investment into that place, it's going to take us so many years to be able to recover that because you don't have the kind of commerce that you need to attract vessels to berth at that area. You also spoke about Harpo. You talk about us serving that portion of Ivory Coast, but right down the road, as soon as you cross, San Pedro has one of the biggest port even in Ivory Coast. So how do you try to compete that?
Fight about Harpo.
I guess.
Of course.
You're not let me answer. You're not let me answer now. If you interrupt me like that, then it's not fair.
No, go ahead, Chief.
No, let him answer.
Show me respect now.
Let me respect. Sorry,
You also did not speak on the funding issue as to who, if the other port don't find investors, who going to fund them to be able to.
So let me say this: that you had a meeting with the management of the National Port Authority. Or the board. I think you had a meeting with them before coming here.
I don't know what it is.
Because those are precisely the issue they have been raising. Those are things they have been saying. The people lack vision. Anybody who has vision will never talk like that. They can't do this. They're not doing this now. So because they're not doing it now, so they can do it tomorrow. Is that what I'm saying? It's a lack of vision. That's why our country is in the state. The lack of vision of people who are governing our country. It's a vision we are putting into this thing. We are driving a vision for our ports.
Yeah, the vision
that we want to make our ports effective, efficient, economically viable by making investment in them, by attracting foreign investment into them. That's what we are saying.
Okay.
Then you say they're not doing that now. So it means that they can do that tomorrow with investment. They can do that.
Okay, Moses, you can come here.
Obviously.
Yes. Senator, let me just ask you this question. You know, when the lawmaker speaks, that comes with a lot of news, and I want you to set the record straight here for us. You have continuously said the people are opposed, the people are fighting the bill. When you say the people, a journalist listening to you tonight would like to know who the people you're talking about. Can you name those people that are fighting?
I can say the management of National Port Authority is fighting, the board of directors of National Port Authority.
Are you does that also include the managing director?
when they appear before me with their objections, they say I'm insinuating. How can you say that?
All right, conclude.
No, Senator, are you saying that the managing director Ducle is
I said the
opposed to
management.
it?
Did I say managing director? I said the management of the National Port Authority, the board of directors of the National Port Authority are opposed to this bill. I
Okay,
said that.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank
all
you,
right.
sir.
So that's precisely what I'm saying. Then they call it's not true.
Thank
Then
you.
they supporting it. Call the man on the vote, call the vote, and ask them whether they are supporting
All
the
right,
bill.
thank you, gentlemen. The voice of Sando, understand, is also relaying this program, so your people in Sando County are all listening to you. Now, Mr. Senator, before we go to I go to my other colleagues. Do you know that? Have the crafters, gentlemen, you please increase this talk. Have the
16, that's a fun.
have the crafters realized, the crafter of this bill, have they realized that they're trying to do harm to maritime, trying to strip maritime of its responsibility by saying that assets of the port will not be controlled or will not be in the under the supervision of the new regulator that you're making reference to? Do you know that you're trying to strip maritime of its responsibility? And if so, if you know that, what's the rationale for that?
No, absolutely not. Excuse me, let me drink some water. No, no, not at all. There are those functions that are assigned to the port. There are those functions that are assigned to maritime. Some of the functions are performed by maritime, are performed by the port authority. And sometimes it's difficult to differentiate. So which one is exclusively managed by maritime, exclusively managed by the port authority? All right, so that's where the confusion came from. So the president looked at it, the way they looked at it, said, no, let be this way, let be that way. And they provided with our constructive suggestions.
The president or the crafters?
I'm talking about when we went to the executive. There are some of the issues the president raised in the line veto, that some functions of the maritime authority were assigned to the ports. But again, sometimes if you read the laws, you find out that some of the functions are duplicated. Maritime performing this, the ports are performing this, and you don't know where to draw the line.
So in the reverse law, what's going to happen now?
So yeah, so we took care of that. We took care of that.
How?
We differentiated the function as clearly as the president thought that we should do.
Just what the president said.
Yeah, precisely. We did that. Yes.
Now, do you know that this whole
We delineated the function.
do you know, Mr. Senator, do you know that this whole bill introduced by you and other senators has split the Unity Party to the middle? The diaspora, they are howling against. And let me read what they've written so that you understand. Unity Party USA Canada issued a statement to explain why the Liberia Seed and Inland Ports Decentralization and Modernization Act is fundamentally harmful to Liberia and why we fully support Joseph Boakai in vetoing the legislation. This act is not neutral reform initiative. It represents a profound restructuring of Liberia's ports governance system with serious constitutional, institutional, and national security implications. As such, it demands heightened scrutiny and principled executive restraint. Now, here are some of the defects that the Unity Party branch on our side believes that you people didn't handle. The Liberia Seed and Inland Ports Decentralization and Modernization Act violates the 1986 Constitution of Liberia, particularly Article 35, which establishes a package veto system for ordinary legislation, and Articles 54C and 56A, which protect the president's authority to appoint, supervise, and remove officials of autonomous public agencies. By dismantling and reconstituting both governance structures in a manner that effectively displaces certain presidential appointees without cause, due process, or executive concurrence, the act accomplishes indirectly what the legislature may not do directly, remove executive officers through statutory redesign. This practice, known in constitutional law as removal by legislative indirection, is incompatible with Liberia's separation of powers and undermines executive accountability. Do you agree to that?
No, I disagree.
Or how do you disagree?
Let's be honest with this course. I would prefer that, the problem we have in this country is that we just talk. Sorry, it says Liberians are gullible. So we are fed with all sorts of information and we believe what it is. Some of the people who write them have just heard that, yeah, there's a full decentralization bill and for vested interest, they want to fight against it. But if they had picked up the instrument and read it, they'll not be talking about taking executive authority. The president will appoint the managing director of the Bureau of Ports. So we're not taking executive authority from anybody. It's not within our province to take the function of the executive. Constitution does not give us that power, so we cannot do that. So that's not what is happening here. They're talking about the structure, changing the structure, will displace them, will do that. Then you tell us not to pass the Local Government Act. That's supposed to create a Ministry of Local Government Act. Shouldn't have passed that. We are talking about governing transformative governance. It's not what you people are talking about. It's not what everybody is yearning for, that everybody wants. Transformative governance. We are trying to transform our system to make it answer to the needs and aspirations of the people. The way it is now is not working. The local government system is not working. The way we have internal affairs is not working. We say we should have a ministry. We should not go back to what we had before, Ministry of Local Government. Are they saying that the structure will change so people will be displaced, people will not have jobs? If they are not interested in the jobs, then let them stay in America. I think that because of jobs that they are there. We want to transform the way we govern. The Bible will sit there and criticize everything I will do here, but make not a single contribution here. They don't bring a single investment here.
Okay. All right. So very short.
So tell them to read the bill.
Very shortly, we'll go to the line.
If they wanted to send them a copy, we can send them a soft copy so they can read it.
All right, Senator. They also read.
They are speaking from an uninformed position.
Read this. I come in, Moses. Senator, let me read this issue. I will shortly open the lines. It says sovereignty and national security risk. This bill has sovereignty and national security risk. Ports are instruments of sovereignty. Control over ports determines who and what enters the republic, how revenue is collected, and how national security risks are managed. Altering port governance without strong constitutional safeguards increases exposure to corruption, weakens unified revenue administration, and erodes Liberia's bargaining power in concession negotiations.
Before me, I'll ask them about the constitutional safeguard they're talking about. The Constitution is an organic law. When people speak of Constitution instead of statutory laws, maybe they should be talking about statutory law instead of Constitution. The Constitution does not speak to everything. All right? So they should be talking about statutory law in the country. And what law does that violate? How does that violate the security architecture? How does that undermine the security architecture of our country? If you have a post, all the safeguards will be put in place at every port. We have considered all of these things. Everything that is done at the Freeport of Monrovia will be done at the other ports. So how does that undermine national security? Let them read the bill, please. Tell them to read the bill.
Okay, Moses, can you quickly open the lines?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the senator has said a lot, but what the senator has not really been able to speak to, the effective utilization of the oversight authority of the Senate. He has spoken about a number of problems in the country, the inefficiency, the duplication, the failure to account, but the senator has not been able to tell the people of Liberia what the Liberian Senate has done, or the legislature as a whole has done in correcting this problem. The senator has not spoken to that.
Have you been following? If you have been following, I've said that times without number, that we have a serious challenge in our country. Some of the problems are systemic. And those are the systemic problems we are trying to correct. Are you following me? The way we think, we can do it better. We have efficiency. We can have transparency. We can have accountability. It's to decentralize our outputs. That's how the legislature sees it. Not me, not Nyomri, not anybody, but the legislature. That's how we see it. To make our oversight more effective.
Okay, finally, before opening lines, are you optimistic that the president will sign this bill?
Absolutely.
What makes you optimistic?
Because I believe in the president. The president believes in decentralization. The president is one of the architects of decentralization. He's one of the person who pushes the decentralization of governance.
So if he doesn't sign it, what happens?
He will sign it.
If he doesn't,
Well, then
would there be a clash between the executive and the legislature?
the exercise of executive power, we don't have control over that. So there will not be a clash. If Senate doesn't sign it, if he vetoes it, we can override a veto. You know that we can do that, right? Yeah, we can override a veto. If we think so. We can override a veto.
Son, that's why I wanted to
Because
ask.
we believe in this so much. So if the president doesn't, we can override it. But let me say this. I have no reason to believe that this president will not sign this bill. Irrespective of all the pressure that has been brought upon him from your diaspora people, from your management people, executive, the party people, whatever interest they want to protect. We are talking here about Liberia. We're not talking about party. We're not talking about the governance authority now. We're talking about the Republic of Liberia today and tomorrow, irrespective of who is in power.
So finally,
that's what we're talking about here. Some people want to protect vested interest. I said they will stay there forever. Will the management of the port of National Port Authority be there forever? No, they are in transition.
Senator,
those are transitory jobs.
Senator, you're very optimistic that the president.
I'm very optimistic because
how soon you think?
Well, no, I don't want to put time to it because I don't work for the president.
So if the president vetoed again, you're going to override the veto.
Well, we can override it. We want to. Yes, we have the authority.
And that's why
the Constitution.
That's what you plan to do.
We go do that. We go do that.
All right, let's take a pause quickly.
Yeah, we go do that.
So I wanted to end the overriding issue. He's a lawyer. The reason why I wanted to end the overriding issue is if you override the vote, it becomes law. I know that for sure. And it goes to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They don't print it into handbill, which is part of the lawmaking process. Would it be considered law?
Don't even say, are you a lawyer?
I'm asking you.
No. As you know that.
I think you are a lawyer.
I want to understand. Are you a lawyer?
No, sir.
So there is no way that we pass a law. He should pass a law. If the president signs it, listen now. If the president signs it, it's printed into a handbill, it becomes law. If the president vetoes it and override that veto, the foreign ministry, the executive, under constitutional authority to print it into handbill. They cannot. There's no way they can.
Make sure they answer their terms.
They cannot. They must do that.
Part of the lawmaking process.
It's a constitutional mandate. They must do that.
Yes, it's part of the lawmaking process.
They must do that.
It is part of the lawmaking process.
So it's not a matter of choice. They don't have the option. We say because the president against us, so we're not print. No.
Producer, make sure that 0778 460 again 0778 460 or better still 0886 050507 again 0886 050507. That's the number to call and you are live. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Good evening. I've been monitoring the show. I'm Sonny Bob Sino County.
Okay.
Let me give an info that I want to keep to the senator of giving his explanation as a regard to the bill on flu, as a regard to the bill for the senator, for the secretary of the president. I see the bill as a good one because if you look at the bill, it's a good thing to decentralize the vote. That of benefit to the county and that of now. Let me give you an instance. If you look at the 2025, the Buchanan Poll and that of the Green has contributed immensely told the authority when the food has generated over 1 million plus the National Food Authority, what the Ghana Food have generated close to $6 to $7 billion to authority, and all this money are going to the national authority. The National Food Authority is not contributing to the national.
Okay, all right. Okay, you made your point. We made a point. We'll have to take another call on the line. 077-846-0793 or better still 0886-050507. Again, 0886-050507. That's the number to call. Let's take this call on the line quickly. Good evening. Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, so this is Dube, son of Sino.
Okay.
Let me say thank you to our senator in studio for explaining explicitly the decentralization bill. We followed the show and we said thank you first to Fine FM, except that we asked the senator to respond to them. At least we're given the time to respond. That matter is a national concern, that the country is listening to them. And it's very important for us, like the senator said, decentralizing the ports of our country, the port is very important because decision-making processes improves it. One of the constraints we have been faced with as a port is the issue of accountability. Once authority is decentralized, the ports are located to take authority of the matters of the port. You will find out that people will know the essence of taking care of the port to their benefit. This is where accountability will be one of the key things we take care of. So we appreciate the senator, we support the bill.
Okay.
Our country is speaks to the fact that
Okay, you made your point already. Let's take another call on the line quickly. 077-846-0793. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
And let me say good evening to your guests and listeners following the conversation. I'm Emmanuel P. Kunuti, and I call you from a resident into community. Well, I listened to the senator, and let me say, trouble and for the record, that the action by the legislature to decentralize or to grant autonomy to the various ports, I think it's a dangerous path that they are treading on. So, let us make no mistake. This bill, it is not in the interest of the Liberian people. It is a bill intended to satisfy certain selfish political interests. And we, as conscious-minded people of Nigeria, we are about to engage this matter constructively with the legislature. Because if you want to decentralize the ports, are you taking into consideration other ports? For example, the port of Sano, the port of Harbour. Are you taking into consideration the sovereignty of those ports? For example, in Sano, you got a port there that is being operated where at times 2-3 months you not get vessels coming to the port. How do you expect them to survive when you grant them autonomy? Are we going back to the APM terminal agreement where when we grant them autonomy, we are going to mortgage them to investors that will become in return a heavy burden on the ordinary masses of our people? Because today, the suffering that we are facing from the hands of APM terminal, it is the ordinary masses of our people. So today, you not get money to invest in our station's food. Granting them autonomy, you are going out now to look for investors, mortgage the port to them, work by their terms and conditions, thereby causing serious problems for the Liberian people. So we are saying, we are calling on the president to see reason to veto that bill, and make no mistake to say the legislature will override that bill, because the work for us, we are that they are road bosses.
Okay, you made your point already. Let's take another call on the line quickly. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, and
Lower the volume of the radio. Lower the volume of the radio. Lower the volume.
This is very much. I think I'm clear now.
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
Yes, let me commend the senator for the debate and elaboration on the issue of the port. And like one of the generated about 10 million last 2024 to 2025 and was given Port Authority. What did they do with the money? And even in the budget, how much actually the National Port Authority supporting the budget with? These are some of the things. So like that Basel Port, right? Or one of the people who generated from 2024 to 2025, you know, we supporting the national budget. But everything the National Port Authority are energy, we are like energy to supporting the budget. People who are coming up to me to be advanced in terms of building those spaces. Energy people are against this organization or the port for political reasons. And the president is not against.
Okay, all right. I think you made the point. We'll have to take another caller. We'll take calls up to 9:40 quickly, and then we allow the senator to leave. 07784607993. Again, 07784607993. Better still, 0886050507. Again, 0886050507. That's the number to call, and you are live on the program. Let's hear from you. Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
My name is Ugo, and I'm a member of United.
Okay.
To budget for change tonight. And let me say good evening to the senator and the other panelists. You know, someone that'll be very frank, yeah. How to classify the DA? They got to take it off. No, someone they get evidence decentralized they put. We want to how many investors or they will go look for investors outside again they bring they imagine as well as a PM terminal is doing. So what they are cheering us, you're real for such us. We voted you will get 9 years, 6 years. Will not be nothing for will not be nothing for then you're giving your problem everything. What is this? Now what will put you there for? Will put you people there for to be given poor pay or say April or July 26 is coming, August 24 is coming, Christmas is coming. Bill for our people, so when they come, we can. You will never do that for us. We don't want your direct. All your get give you hard time. We'll talk to them now. Again, we look at you people. Actually, we are not feeding all of that. It's not good. You will see that people will not have you work to do to go get your work. People. So if you give back to the people, it's very hard for you. Your problem everything. What is this?
Okay. All right. You made a point. Let's take another call on the line quickly. 077. We've got 5 minutes to go. Taking calls, and then at 9:40, we'll allow the senator to make his partner comment and leave quickly. And the analyst, the panelists will talk there. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Mr. Good evening, Dr. Following the purpose. With them in a journalist conversation. Well, I think the issue about the conditions of the port. Well, for me, my idea has two ways. It has its own disadvantages. Now, the advantage part about it, I think decentralizing the port will be as a pedestrian wherein our country, the National Port Authority has been tied down to the avian terminal, wherein all who's coming to that port at the avian terminal ask on them. Well, I think if it's decentralized, the government can invest in some of these ports that parents can use them as an alternative way, right? And I think ready ATM terminal to come down the options that is increasing, high tariffs on people. I think that would be good. But then the disadvantage by this, look, I think because look at happen. You do not have any good road connection connected to it. So decentralizing the port, how can it because if people want to go use that place in their goods, and you want to transport it from down there, because it's going to give you hard time. Then if people goods they're going to perish on the road before you even reach the capital. The reason why people using the neighboring country like Guinea, look, there are things that are coming from Guinea is far cheaper than coming from Liberia right now. This country can look into privatizations of aid, like people wanted to turn it to the line, whatsoever. For me, I do not have for anybody as to whether they have an opportunity to vote
Okay.
for the decentralization of food.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. You made a point. Let's take the last caller and then we can go back to the senator to give his part of comment quickly. 0778 460 793 or better still 0886 050507. That's the number to call. Again, 0886 050507 or 0778 460 793. You call those numbers. You are live on the Nighttime Heat. I'm hoping that you are watching live. Just tap Nighttime Heat on your Facebook or your YouTube channel, and of course, you're going to watch the show live. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, the other says more calling from Tori.
Let's hear from you, ma.
Yeah, for us, we don't have what you're discussing about the post, and we are listening to the senator. And if the president veto and his son is saying that they will be able to take the law into their hands, and the one who put in there for, it can hurt. And when you put a person to a place to represent you, and they are not doing the right thing, so you get power. So other countries will say we will be able to take them for all the power, but we don't have the power except voting day. But it really hurts that you got somebody to represent you, or you are there, the person there to talk for you, but at the end of the day, the person there against you. That is thing they're doing to us.
Okay. All right.
That is the reason to really find a common ground that they can be able to talk to those parents.
Okay, many thanks. Let's go back to the senator to respond to some of those concerns, and then his party comment will allow him to leave.
Okay, essentially, the two categories of callers. Some here in the bill, some critical of it, and I want to respond. I want to say thank you to those who responded positively to the bill, and I just want to provide this information for those who are against the bill. There's a caller who said, who spoke of the port of Greenville, that sometimes ships don't call on the port for months. That is true. But why is that so? That's the same question I put back to one of the panelists when he was making the same argument. Why is that happening? Because the ports are not managed well. No investment, no equipment. Even the logging companies and including the biggest investor in Sino, the GBL, the oil company, the oil plantation, they have raised issues about the lack of equipment, the lack of efficiency at the port. They have raised issues. And those things undermine their profitability as well. Because if your product is supposed to ship out of the country in a very short period of time because of the situation on the port, sometimes it takes weeks. It takes weeks to do that. Sometimes there are losses. And why is that so? Because of the failure to invest in the ports. Because people sit down here in Monrovia and think that Liberia is Monrovia. So everything must be in Monrovia and forget about the rest of the country. Forget about all of the institutions out of Monrovia. No, it should not be so. That's why we want to change. That's why the decentralization bill, the act, the local government act is about to decentralize governance. There'll even be time where counties will be collecting revenue on their own. And within the same framework, they will have the decentralization bill coming. So we are making all the efforts. Some people maybe out of ignorance say, oh, we put in there now to do this, now to do that. Everything we do there, we do in the interest of our people, not in our interest. We're not there forever. We do for Liberia. I said, I'm going to repeat that again. There is nothing that we do at the legislature to benefit us or for our interests. We consider the general good of the country, the interest of the country and the people of this country. So this bill is about empowering the ports, making it efficient, making it effective, making it economically viable, so that they provide the services that they are supposed to provide efficiently and effectively. And contribute to the local economies of the county, provide employment for the locals of the county. Isn't that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Why should anybody say that's a bad thing? I'm in Sino, then we see in Monrovia, port of Sino, you employ all the people inside, whoever your friends are, you send them to Sino. There are a lot of unemployed people in Sino who have expertise, who are qualified to work. But yes, management in Monrovia says that here employs everybody. Like the example I gave, even the janitor, the managers of the post, you call them port directors, that don't have authority to employ even a janitor, to even sign a contract. Everything here. And this, I think we want to.
Okay, all right, Mr. Senator.
And it's good for our country, it's good for our people.
Mr. Senator, thank you very much for taking time off your busy schedule to come. He's the Senator Councilor Augustine Chie. He's the Senate Committee Chair on Judiciary. It's a committee, has been one along with others who've been working on the bill, crafting the bill. And you heard him. He said, well, if this bill is vetoed again, we have the ability to override it. So what's going to happen? Maybe a constitutional crisis, or maybe a clash between the executive and the legislature. We're hoping to see that. Senator, thank you very much.
It shouldn't be at all, because that's part of the Constitution from what?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's do the break quickly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Liberia is so interesting, Gentlemen, welcome back to the program. Welcome back. Moses is still there? Okay.
Moses is still there.
All right, gentlemen, let's go around the table. And of course, I want us to take our analysis from the last statement made by the striking, in fact, statement made by the senator and the councilor, Augustine. But we'll begin with the lawyer in training. And in just a few weeks from now, you'll be graduated from the law school. What's your understanding, Edwin, about what the senator said? That and apparently that could be, that if the president doesn't accept, if he again vetoes, we're going to override.
Yes, the Constitution gave them that authority, and it has to be, this time, it has to be done by both houses. They have to get to third. That they can now override it. And once it does that, it becomes law.
It becomes law?
It becomes law, yes.
But the fact that it's not printed into handbill, well,
so based on the separation of powers, right? Their duty is to make the law, Now, if the executive have issues with that law and send it back to them, and they in totality, because they have the numbers, mind you now, the executive power is only within the president. The legislative power is within the number. So if they can get two-thirds majority of both houses to pass that,
No, we understand that. We understand that.
Now,
but it has to be printed.
the Constitution now mandate that the executive now have to print that law into handbill.
But the executive could say, well, the president could say, well, Minister of Finance, that will let me hear from you.
So that's where the constitutional crisis will also come in.
The president could say, well, Minister of Finance, Madam Minister of Foreign Affairs, don't print that thing. So then what happens?
No, it's a hypothetical question there. The first thing is that the president hasn't responded finally, because I think it's back to him to endorse it, right? To sign it. He hasn't signed it. So it's difficult to predict whether the president will sign it or not. But if the president doesn't sign it, he was very absolute that if the president doesn't sign it, they will override it. But obviously, there will be some constitutional crisis. There will be some division, but in all, on the overhaul, the issue about the decentralization, I think people that want to dwell on the negative aspect of it. Oh, what? Say that? No.
That's a simple question on the legality.
What I'm saying.
Let's hold it.
I made my position.
You said there could be constitutional crisis.
There could be a constitutional crisis.
Okay, let's see it. Okay.
You don't
the lawmaking process got the lawmaking got processes in line with the Constitution. The bill had to be proposed, either by a senator or anyone. It had to be passed into law through the both houses. The heirs got to sign. It had to be signed into handbill and printed. When all the three requirements are met and it's not printed, that law is still incomplete. It's not done.
So even if
the typical example, there was a bill passed in 1978, 1979, calling for the election of city mayors. I know wherever former Senator Asa Ginabo is, maybe he's listening.
Stay around.
Probably he can call, because when I was covering the Senate, he actually intervened in this, and the Supreme Court ruled on it. All right? So the election of city mayor, that bill was not, it was passed by the legislature, signed by the president. It was not printed into handbill. You got him? And so when Councillor Bronsky went to court, because President Doha election of city mayors at a certain time, so the former ruling Congress for Democratic Change, the Liberty Party, went to court on that case that city mayors should be elected. And so you know what Senator Ginabo did? He told Madam Salif to appoint someone, I just forget the lady's name, as mayor of Grand Guinea. And they went to court, Bronsky then went to court, and the Supreme Court, they brought the bill was not signed into handbill. Councillor Bronsky then lose that case in the court. So the mayor still being appointed today.
So what are you saying?
Because it did not meet the full processes of lawmaking.
But
you get it clear? It was not printed.
No, like we say, right? It still doesn't make it not to be a law.
Okay.
Because the processes of making the law, it says that if the president doesn't sign it and send it back, or in fact, even if the president just keep it on his desk for 20 days and they have not adjourned,
working days.
20 days.
Okay, working days.
Yes. And they have not adjourned, all right? That bill automatically become law.
It's true.
And also they also have the constitutional authority to override the president's veto, but they have to get two-thirds majority of each house.
Yeah.
Right now. Once that happens, it becomes law. Now, the issue here that we don't see, because it has to go back to the president to sign it, and then also it has to now go to be printed into handbill. Now, that's where the constitutional crisis could come in, or there where the friction could come in between the executive and the legislature. But based on the framework intent of the Constitution, once that decision is taken by the legislature, automatically the executive is under obligation to make sure that that particular instrument get printed.
So if it is not printed,
then that's where the crisis come in.
because one of the
It has to be
requirements
done.
have not been met.
So here's a portion here. They say, the portion. They say if the president does not act within 20 days,
Working
and
But
legislature
I'm still here waiting.
join, the bill becomes law.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's what's written right here.
it's clear. Yeah.
So, let me come in, gentlemen. Moses are coming. Let me ask you this question, and then you can pick up from there. Gentlemen, do we think that the president is he prepared to accommodate or to accept any constitutional crisis? Because you heard him saying, and that could be their plan. Because he's the chair of the judicial committee.
Remember now. Before you come in, remember.
So let me just say something.
Moses,
1 minute.
The senator said emphatically that the qualms the president has been addressed in white tone. That what he's confident that the president will sign it.
Yeah.
He said that.
No, he said that.
Yeah,
and Slobo, I don't think.
But it's possible
that the president could also
reject. There could be individuals who say, "Oh, Mr. President, don't sign nothing."
Now, that's two ways, right? Now, the law says the both houses. So if the Senate managed to get it to chair, it means that they have to also get it to chair from the House of Representatives. So if the president don't want it to be passed, then they have to find a way to influence.
But listen, the thing is, they say, Moses,
of course.
Moses, no, the thing is,
to speak because I have not spoken yet.
Political process.
the thing is, I mean, considering the way the bill was passed, considering the way the bill was passed,
it will be passed.
Moses, let's hear your thoughts.
I'm not a student of law, but when the senator was speaking, I decided, the war is a global village now. So I decided to do a little bit of research on the negative implication of overriding a presidential veto. And so I just want to read this for you guys. This is why it says, you guys were talking about constitutional crisis. So this is what a research shows. It says that overriding a presidential veto can undermine executive authority, bypass crucial executive review, intensify partisan conflict, and potentially lead to poorly vetted laws, disrupting the internal check and balances and encouraging legislative overreach.
Yeah, of course.
Or self-correction without broader input, sometimes resulting in policy gaps or increased political gridlock. While a constitutional check frequent overrides suggests legislative dominance, potentially making executive input less meaningful and increasing policy instability, as seen with funding gaps from veto appropriation bills. So what I pick up from this is that, don't forget, it is the executive that has the authority to make appropriation. So let's assume that you guys override this veto. Let's agree that the president vetoes and the override. Is the president, the executive that has what? The authority to make appropriation. So they can pass it into law. But until the appropriation are made for funding, nothing will happen.
No, gentlemen, I want to okay. Yes, you want to come in?
Yes, sir. So So it's good to look at the critical aspect, but I think the senator was filibustering when he said we'll override the veto. Surely he can get a vote on the two floors.
It's possible.
No.
Don't. No.
Surely-
No. It's possible. Considering the way, and let's not doubt the possibility.
They say he was very
It's
clear.
possible, considering the way the bill passed. You know that they were all in a rush to go for the season break, and they held just one session close to 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the night, and they passed all the bill.
That's fine.
So it's possible.
So this time, nothing is impossible. We are saying what? So you are very emphatic. Is he sure that he will get it to 32?
And Slobo,
Or he sure that so nothing is just possible.
Slobo, like you rightly said, right?
Mhm.
Those are political houses. The executive work along with the legislature. Those are political houses. But I think Moses raised a very good, important point. Now, even if you override a veto and it's passed into law, it is the executive that has to execute exactly what the legislature wants. So now, like he said clearly that there are investors that are coming to, that have already decided to engage them. They have no authority to engage any investors to have any kind of agreement signed between they and Liberia.
Be mindful now. So
Now,
the senator.
No, I come in.
He did not say.
He said.
He did not say.
No. He said he spoke with them. They're expressing interest.
We have
We have investors who are expressing interest.
But they are
Yes.
not engaged in yet.
No. But in fact, no. I come in.
No, he said the
Investors
are
are not-
engaging them.
Investors can. When it comes to the process of negotiation, it has to do with the legislature.
With the executive, that executive function,
If
right
they have all this mishap, and then the executive say we're not going to go into it, it becomes a useless process. Because at the end of the day, it is the executive that even have to enter.
But gentlemen,
into
this is
agreement.
what my question is.
Yeah.
Do we think that the president is prepared to enter a feud with the legislature?
I think the
No, we don't think so.
because the president knows and he understands the authority of the legislature.
I think they will reach to-
They got a very strong authority.
I think they will
The
reach to a
legislature.
common
So
ground.
do you think the president prepared to say, look, okay, for the sake of
So,
John Brown, I come in for the sake of John Brown, let me reject the thing. And if there's any constitutional practice,
But so
we go into it.
as I said initially, your question is hypothetical. There's nobody can give a
I think
answer here.
I think even if that happened,
No.
there will be some common ground reach. I don't think it's going to reach
But
a
that
point where there's a
you-
rift between
nothing like
the
a
parties. And one of the mistakes that I thought they did, like I said from the initial stage, rather going for a new bill.
Mhm.
You could have looked at you could have looked at the act that created the National Port Authority
And further enforce
and further enforce the portion that talks about the ports that are outside of Monrovia, and say, look at this thing and give them some level of autonomy, and then say portion of the revenue generated and whatever central government can have to be able to develop those infrastructure. But if you say you want to dissolve the whole thing and start all over, that's where I think the problem
But
is.
another thing is, gentlemen, if you listen to the senator was very, he was very straight to the point, and he was accusing the port management of being the one refusing and fighting the war against. What was he thinking
That
about?
is why I told him the law that they passed. That's why they violated a lot of other laws, even including the Constitution, because they were very impulsive about the managing director or the current management. They didn't want to see them, so they made this law against them. That's why they made all those mistakes.
Slower.
And that alone undermine their intent. I mean, the whole thing they wanted to do. Decentralization is a general good word that everybody want to hear in the country. But the devil behind it, that's why I call the bill the devil's bill. The devil behind it is what exposed it. The senator did not come up clear to tell you all those land vetoes that the president did to say on this land, this is what we put there. Every time I say he does it. What did you say about this land? He does it. We did the right thing. We did the right thing. He didn't come up clear on any one of them.
Guys, if I could just continue.
Moses.
There were issues that he raised about the management of these state enterprises. And we said to him, look, I've seen this because I've been in institutions where other institutions were being developed outside of those, institutions like NOCAL. I was there when they decided to establish the LPRA. And then there was a lot of fight. People always resist it because the people who are within, they understand the challenges these institutions are facing. Now, if you bring up another institutions, you're creating burden either for the executive branch of government to start looking for budgetary allocation. The same thing with LERC, when it came out to come up with a group to regulate the electricity sector. It became a big problem because once you are not there yet, he talks about Ghana, he talks about Nigeria. These are big economies. You're talking about Takoradi, the population of Takoradi alone is more than the population of Liberia. So you cannot compare these people's situation with ours. How many people in Sino? How many people in
what a row?
They just started building the bridge right now to cross the Kavala River into Ivory Coast. So who's going to bring container from Ivory Coast to bring it to your Harper port and then put it on a ferry to cross? That's not going to happen. The idea is good, but the way they want to do it now, it actually sends a lot of different signal.
Okay, Moses, let's hear your final word on this, and then we can transition.
Yeah, so I would just like to piggyback on what all of you have said. The intent is good, but I think the lawmakers are putting the cart before the horse. I mean, how do you be debating a bill at the same time you're holding negotiation with potential investors, which doesn't even fall within the scope of the legislature? Anything that has to do with investment in the country, contractual agreement, executive function. So you leave all these things aside and start discussing it at the same time so it's like somebody said, look, this is about us. The intent is good, but you can't do this in the twinkle of an eye, and now I see happening.
Okay.
Like George said, look, there are so many things that they could have done to improve the situation at the Port of Harper and the Port of Greenville. The lawmaker talk about what? Money being used for the wrong reason. The oversight authority that they had, they could have called the port management in and say, hey, we have these concerns. And this problem could be corrected. The ports of Harper, the port of Sino, the ports are ineffective, are poorly managed. What can we do to correct this problem? Instead of what, trying to overdo everything or redo everything. I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of questions that need to be asked.
Okay. Yes. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. I think we need a transition now. We need a transition from the issue of the port decentralization bill. Let's try to talk about something, try to close on something different. Gentlemen, let me read this article quickly, and then we can all talk about it. Edwin and George and Tagwa and Moses, President Boyka, political advisor, sues for $3.5 million over alleged interference in marriage. Let's read this story quickly. A Liberian woman, Madame Cecilia Kung, has taken legal action against Madame Magdala Cooper, political advisor to President Joseph Boyka. She accused Madame Cooper of destroying her marriage, demanding US $3.5 million in general damages for emotional and psychological trauma. The lawsuit filed by Galando and associate law firm claims that the defendant, Cooper, unlawfully interfered with the plaintiff's marital relationship. Filed under Liberia's domestic relations law, specifically Chapter 13, subsection 13.1 to 13.3, the complaint holds the defendant liable. The complainant holds the defendant liable for emotional distress, anxiety, public humiliation and loss of affection and comfort.
So why you guys are?
Very
interesting story. The plaintiff also, okay, gentlemen, let's try to leave it at that. Let me ask the lawyer in training. Quickly.
Some of the social wickedness of that. Social wickedness.
Well, Slobo, I'm just laughing because the thing is that the matter have now gone to court. But let me say this. The courts in Liberia do not just, rule in your favor because you came up with some kind of a flimsy accusations or
Is
so.
that flimsy? That's the interpretation?
I'm coming
They're
on.
being generous.
I'm being generous,
okay.
right?
Yeah,
I'm being generous. Let me say this. The person, all of these people are adults. So why is she not suing her husband? Why is she suing Mandela Cooper? Because it is her husband that broaches his marital vow. So
I think they're in court. She's inseparable.
But even if they're in court, the person who she supposed to be going after here is the husband.
No, just the point that you're missing.
Why?
Just the point that you're missing. I have my husband, and Mary Brown just came from someone that said, or I have my wife. And David Tagba or George came from. Your wife is my. So is it not emotionally traumatic?
But so
again, let's be very mindful here. You are in your rightful mind, right? You are an adult. You are in your rightful mind, and you left your wife to go and engage with another another lady who is believed to be single. You think the law is going after that lady who is single? No. The law is going to go after you because, in fact, under our law,
the lady is not believed to be single.
Who?
She's not believed to be single. She's keep on the say my husband have a fiance.
No. I'm saying she believed to be single, meaning that she's not in any kind of marital stuff. I mean, Mandela now.
No, they will hold you. Because they will hold you now.
Yeah.
Because Mandela, he came up to say, I'm here with my.
But I'm saying, no. I'm saying, agree.
I come in.
But she never had a husband before she went to meet Kun.
No, the point is, the point is, if she had not come up, that would have not been interference into the marriage of Kun, of Cecilia.
No.
But because she said, I'm here with my spouse.
So because
Kun now got vexed. I said, but you're trying to trip on my, on my husband. I mean, you're trying to, interfere in my marriage. Because if you can take my husband to be your spouse, that was spark or anger.
So first of all, there are a couple of things the law look at. Abandonment, right? You the wife. Where have you been with this man? Because the law says once you guys are married, it means you guys supposed to be living under the same roof. Except maybe for some circumstances you are maybe in a different place or
No, the point, no.
But I'm coming at you. No, who told you that? Who told you that?
The law will not look at that.
Who told you that?
The man is still.
You've been seeing the guy.
I'm coming. The man is still married.
Okay.
He's still married. They're still married to Cecilia.
That's why I say she has legal issues with her husband.
But also she has
under the law that's bigamy. Once he's still in a contractual marital relationship with his wife, he cannot go outside of that marriage. If he does anything like that, the law can hold him responsible. The law is not going to go after the girl who he's going out with. No. Or the lady that he's going out with.
Sober.
Yeah, come here, Moses. Come here.
Okay. Look, let me just say something quickly. I just want to piggyback. Yes.
1 minute before coming.
You won't read it.
Don't read this complaint. Filed under Liberia's domestic relations law, specifically Chapter 13, subsection 13.1 to 13.3. The complainant holds that the complainant, Cecilia, she holds the defendant liable for emotional distress, anxiety, public humiliation, and loss of affection and comfort. Because why a woman coming and say that my husband here when the one knows that let's hear from you.
But look, so but this is what I would like to say, guys. First, I would say the law firm Kalando that represent Cecilia Paul Kun, they are not honest.
No, my man,
allow me, let me complete myself. Yeah. And you know, look, lawyers, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a student of law, but I think lawyers supposed to be reasonable. Like Mr. Famula said, the speaker is more than 18 years of age. He's not a minor. If Cecilia wants to take any action under the law, that action will be against her husband. Not Medela Cooper, no. It is indefensible. She goes to court, she's going to lose that case.
Moses, you can be
let me complete my thoughts, right? She goes to court, the judge is going to ask her, how can you prove that this woman took your husband? Did she go after your husband?
But the woman declared. The woman said,
there's a photo.
But the man didn't reject it. So the man
so he had not spoken. So that was it.
No, the fact that the man was silent when the woman said, "I'm here with my spouse." The fact that he didn't say anything,
there's a uniform dress code and a key.
The office of the speaker has come to say that look, Cecilia is my sister. And there are photographs out there that insinuate that he has a relationship with Medela Cooper. However, Cecilia cannot go after Medela Cooper. The only problem I have with this case is that the optics for the office of the president is terrible. Somebody who is presidential advisor to the president should not be caught in the middle of this kind of nonsense. Seriously. The reflection is going to be on the office of the president. But Cecilia has no case against this woman. Let me stop there, guys.
Yeah, okay. So my point is, my point here is though, like Moses mentioned that briefly, Saba. The first thing is it hasn't been proven whether Mr. Kun or Senator Kun or Representative Kun married to this woman. It's still being debated. Kun said that's his sister. She is not his wife. That's his sister.
No, but the woman has the
woman insists.
She has the certificate. She has a certificate that the both are married.
Mr. Kun is insisting or arguing that woman is his sister, and there's the kind
of.
So
are you dismissing the certificate of marriage?
Wait. It could be faked because Kun wanted status in the United States, so it could be fake. It could be something fabricated.
Oh, you want that status?
You want the status that what we hearing?
So that's why he married her.
So there's so many. In fact, they DVT that many people did that. And so another thing is that it hasn't been proven whether or not that woman is Kun's wife or sister. It hasn't been proven. I'm also hearing reports about demand for DNA to prove that whether the two people are sisters and brothers, sister and brother. There's a call for DNA, I think from the Kun side or from some other sides, that there must be a DNA to prove, because this matter, until it is proven that the lady is his biological sister and they fabricated a marriage only for Kun to seek status in the United States as we're hearing, I mean, then no one can say the who is wrong or who is right, because it becomes still debatable whether the woman. So I don't know on what basis is the woman going to sue how to call it Mandela. Had they done the DNA? Had they done the DNA to disprove this lady's claims and Mr. Coon's claim that the woman is his sister, biological sister? Then Mandela or that woman can start from there by going to court. But the DNA hasn't been done there. It's a very important thing that needs to be done.
Okay.
To dismiss yeah.
Which other law did he quote in the domestic relations law? Because I'm not seeing that 14 point something that you talk about.
The man said chapter 13 sections 13.1 to 13.3.
Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so he just going for
So now,
damages that based on his woman actions and stuff.
so another thing.
But like we say, I come in chief. Like we say, who are you going to go for damages against? Is it your husband or
The fact that she introduced herself.
Your brother.
I come in. The fact that she introduced herself as a spouse to the speaker. That emotionally.
And the speaker has said nothing.
but chief, the code is not going to work on your emotions. Even if you are certain damages, right? You have to be able to say at what level the statement that was made. Now, your husband who was there, he didn't refute it. All right, he stood right there. She said it. He endorsed it. He sat there. He been traveling with this lady from place to place. They've been cohabiting. So because of all of this, right? If you have any legal score to settle, you're not going to go for the person who is cohabiting with your partner, because, like I said, they are two consenting adults. You have no right, even if he's married and she chooses to cohabit with him, she's committed no crime. But the man who is married has committed a crime of bigamy, because he's supposed to know by law that he had a marital relationship, which is a contract between three persons: the wife, the husband, and the state. That's why you have to get a certificate from the state. And before you can dissolve that marriage, the state also have to be involved. That's why you have to go back to court. It is the court that divorces you. Right? So if you have not done all of this, if any of the party have not done all of this and they are married, legally she had issues with her husband, and not with Mandela Cooper. So no court will actually even, condone our lawsuit and waste that time on it. No,
okay, George.
So really, you see this case is an embarrassment.
It's a political embarrassment.
Yeah, now, to the country.
What? No. So
he said no.
What I'm saying, my argument here is that
no. You
why handle in a way as if this is the first of a kind in
this case? This one is a widespread one. This one has come to the public.
Which speaker ever came to this?
So you see this case, the explanation that we're gathering from around that Speaker Coon in the past wanted status in the US, and his sister had his good status, and they went to prepare some documents, and even though they didn't sleep, but just for him to get his documents.
And many people do
it. It is not strange.
Many people did that.
In Africa,
of course.
I'm not talking about Liberia alone. In Africa, it is not strange.
If I do not Trump after World Congress lady for the same thing, for Somalia.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we continue discussing this, following her. We're exposed to country to a lot of things.
We're exposed to a lot of Liberians.
That is why sometimes when this matter comes, I don't really want, because a lot of things happen. And we do it for the people do it for the good intent.
The family,
that without good intent that things change. But what we are gathering is that she wants a certain property from the former speaker, her brother, and he's refusing. And so all of these things, these arguments not necessary from them.
Let me announce that I've started engaging the or lawyer. I spoke with him today to see whether we will get her, because that's a new dimension in the case.
Councillor George Calano.
The initial case, no, that one guy called I think Anthony Law, Councillor Sylvester or something. But you see, the law, he's working with the law firm of Calando. Yeah.
Okay.
So, gentlemen, any parting comments so we can take leave? We have to go now.
Let me just say this. Some mother will reside in the United States as an immigrant, a naturalized.
Felony.
You're coming to test all of you put in that place there.
As a naturalized U.S. citizen, you know, what this case has done, it has given the Americans the opportunity to do a relook.
Yes.
And this will really endanger the safety of a lot of immigrants, including Liberians. Liberians who want to come to the United States, Liberians who are leaving the United States, going home, getting married, no matter how legally you enter into that process, the Americans now going to exercise extreme due diligence.
Of course.
If it were taking you 5 years to come, you might just sit and wait for maybe 10, 15 years. Because they will want to make sure they get to the core to authenticate these marriages. And fake marriages in the United States are felonies. Once convicted, the fine is $250,000 US. The prison time ranges from 5 upward. So if it is actually established that Cecilia and this guy have a blood relationship, it means that the both of them connive to dupe the immigration system of this country. Cecilia, immigration status will run into trouble. Her status in the military will run into trouble. If she comes back to the United States, she should just get ready to go to prison for years. The speaker may become what? Inadmissible. He may not be able to enter the United States anymore. A lot of African immigrants going to struggle with this. This is tough.
Yeah, it's bad.
You know? Yeah, let me stop there, guys. Very
People
sad.
say,
All right, Taba, on the issues we're going to talk about today, guy, passing comments so we can go. Okay.
Well, on the issue of the port decentralization, I think the idea is good because we all been yearning to decentralize our governance structure. But I think there was no need for that bill. What I think the legislature should have done was to look at the that created the National Port Authority and see how best they can give those ports some level of autonomy. On the issue of the speaker, you see, many times our people speak loosely, and sometimes they use politics. They don't know the implication of these things. But again, like Brother Moses said, these things have legal implications. Even in Liberia, there were many people here who won DV, who went to the US. They had to just arrange some kind of marital stuff. They went to the embassy, and then they allowed the two parties to go. After a few times, they went their separate way. Now, if they both start hearing these things, they'll start digging further and start following all of these people who left Liberia in this kind of stuff to see whether these people are still together. When did they get, divorced? And they start to dig up these things. It will affect a lot of Liberian immigration status in America.
Bad story.
So people need to be very careful. Not because you want to play politics, you jump or you start doing this and all of these things. And everything we say in this country, the people are very they're listening to those things. They listen to it. The ear drop, they send their people all of these information and start digging up things. When you look, they start grabbing our people and start canceling their people and saying that, but they say, oh, the poor doing us right. But we expose ourselves. So we need to be careful how we trend these information. If they made out your brother, let it be. And let's just move forward.
Okay, thank you. George?
Yes, I just wanted to respond to give you clarification to the senator's statement. The senator, in his response to the guy from the US, the Unity Party group, he said they got no investment, they got nothing. They shouldn't say this. I think that was very bad. He doesn't know them. He doesn't know what they own in the country. If you don't know, people don't just make general
But
statement.
Senator,
about
not
it.
yet, man.
No, I'm saying.
He probably listening.
Please give me a chance. Say you don't have anything to say. you are defending him. For me, I told notes. You know, so at the end of the day, he said, yeah. He said the guy should go read the bill. Which of the bill? The one that he cheered that grossly violated all the laws of the port sector in Liberia. That the one the port should go read. The port trying to correct you as a lawyer. He said he should go read it. So a lot of other things he doesn't know. He didn't clearly tell us where would they get money from to fund those ports if they had to go their own way. So the first bill that the president vetoed told us that the government are going to fund those bills. It means that we're coming to go into our 23% public investment fund that in the budget for us to build roads and build schools to take on and be financing Buchanan Port, Greenville Port, and Harper Port. I disagree with that. Nobody going to sell this kind of bill here to me, and I said, and then I accept it. So personally, I want to ask the president of Liberia to veto this because I call it the devil's bill because the devil is in the bill that the senator, as a lawyer, could not tell us one line correctly what they put in that new bill that makes it different from the old one. So that's where I stand on it, and I think
Well, I think for me on the issue of the bill, we're hoping that it can be handled properly by the executive and the legislature. We don't want to see any constitutional crisis because, like the senator said, they have the right to reserve that right to override it, and if they override it, it means that maybe there could be some constitutional crisis that may erupt. At the end of the day, it could stall all of our development activities because if the legislature and the executive they are each other's throats, it will not go well for our country. Thank you, David Talbot. Thank you, and thank you, and
you're the first.
Okay. Sorry,
George. Thank you, and Moses. Thank you also. We're going to end the show tonight. Like we said, our show is just 2 hours 30 minutes. It's not boring. You have to go to sleep. So I think after the show now you can sleep. You don't have to wait until 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock before you wait for a show to end before you go to bed. I'm not trying to throw jobs now. What's up, George? Is my name. Have a pleasant and restful night.